Twitch's contract law with music businesses. Have you seen this pop up in your timeline?
I did.
So there's apparently, we don't know the full details of this yet, but apparently there has been a deal finally struck between Twitch and the NMPA that's apparently been long in the works, and we're talking years apparently, if these articles are to be believed or what they're saying is to be believed. And it could finally drop at the end of this month, meaning I guess within the next 7 calendar days. Little is known, but it appears that it centers around Twitch providing what they call new opportunities to music publishers through opt-in deals, as well as Twitch creating a new process by which music rights holders can opt into to report certain uses of their music that they don't like. So what that sounds like to me is, I don't think this is going to suddenly be the onset of music being kosher on Twitch, so much as it's going to be Twitch working or giving labels the opportunity to come in and say, we will work or allow these people to play these songs for this purpose, and that's the show. And then the second half of this is Twitch making good with the NMPA to provide a service in which they can more efficiently report violations that they feel are occurring with their property. And so, I don't know, like on one hand, I like that this is happening. On the other hand, it just sounds like it's going to be just easier for music producers to, or not producers, but license holders to come in and levy strikes. Not that it would affect me, because I haven't listened to fucking any licensed music on stream in a hot minute now, but some people were reading into this as it's going to be the start of Twitch, Twitch users being able to go back to the old days, where they're just listening to whatever they want and shit. I do not think that this is what that is whatsoever. What was your takeaway from what scant news we have on this?
Well, from what I was reading in the email, it seems like it's going to allow Twitch to give people warnings instead of just straight up bans or strikes. So it gives them, I guess, a little bit more leeway. Maybe before they kind of had a gun to their head, like, hey, we reported this, you're going to strike this. And I think now this more might be situational. I think this could be like a backdoor for that, so that Twitch doesn't have to ban people. Because there's tons. I still listen to music. I just don't give a fuck. Like, I just like everybody listens to me. Like, I shouldn't say everybody. A lot of people still listen.
Yeah, a lot
to
of people are still doing it.
A lot, and I mean big time streamers. Now you can just route it through so that it doesn't show up on your VOD or clips, and you can listen to the music live. And I just have to make sure I put in my close back headphones while I have them here, so that it doesn't bleed off into the microphone. And you don't hear anything. Like, you go to somebody can clip it, ship it, nothing's there. So that's what like 85% of streamers are doing when they listen to music now. There hasn't been any cases or issues with it. And I think the majority of the music strikes are because people have music VODed. And I don't know why music companies think that people are going to VODs to listen to music. Every song is pretty much available on Spotify in the world. You could just go over there and listen to the song.
Nobody's going to VODs for any purpose.
Really? Yeah.
like Twitch VODs are like dead.
Well, I mean, they do in role play, but outside of that, I don't think there's a whole lot. There's not. It's very niche.
Yeah.
To go back and watch VOD. So, what I see from this is I see a step in the right direction, but I also don't see. It almost seems like a lateral step. That I think will benefit streamers for not getting banned for this. I don't think there's been any bans at all for music-related stuff. I know that there's been some copyright stuff on like some of the big streamers. Like X was watching the Olympics for like hours, and they told him like you can't watch the Olympics, and he got banned for like 24 hours, if that. But outside of that, I haven't heard of any streamers
I know there's been
reputable streamers.
strikes, but not
Yeah.
bans.
And apparently, when you get a strike over time, those strikes can go away. So I don't know. I just
it's
think
still
it's
a bit
all,
of an elusive system currently, and so hopefully we learn more about.
It's gonna be like
process.
it's gonna be like what everything else is with Twitch and rules. It's whatever they're feeling like doing. Everything is a gray area all the time. There's no cut and dry for the vast majority of stuff. And I think that's what this is going to be. I think people are going to in fact, I think this might even create more confusion. I think there'll be even more streamers that are just going to start listening to music because they think they can. Because, when they're saying, oh, we're signing a deal with NMPA, everyone's like, oh, thank God Twitch is back to its glory days and we could just listen to Backstreet Boys or Christmas music and not give a fuck. But that's not it. That's literally not it. They say, like, in fine print in there that music should still not be used outside of very specific things. So I don't know. Maybe this is an opt-in thing for when they're doing big events and they have like Metallica come in and do music and they can't strike everybody for like listening to their own stream.
So when it's E3 and they do a game show event and it's not them on stage with like some fucking elevator music.
Yeah, and like that now they're promoting some sort of like music thing that I've seen some streamers are opting in for like writing music and stuff. Like, I don't know, man. Twitch when it comes to music is a fucking dumpster fire. It's confusing at the very least. And I don't know. I don't know why you can listen to music on YouTube or Facebook, and people aren't getting banned. Like at most, your video is getting demonetized.
Well, I think the difference is that YouTube has a system in which they can forward monetization to rights holders, whereas Twitch just doesn't have that. And I think it's probably for similar reasons that we don't have things like, even though some hack version of Rewind is apparently coming to Twitch as well, they announced that, like, but it's like a Band-Aid version. It's like where they're like kind of low key roping in the VOD past a 5-minute mark, and there's like they're trying to do it, but I think ultimately they'd have to rewrite the entire player in order to properly implement it, and I think it's probably a similar situation whereby they just don't have the back-end infrastructure in place right now to forward advertising revenue to rights holders. And then the other more complicated thing, I suppose, is that, in a YouTube video, most of these videos are like,
10 minutes.
10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, right? And you get like one or two things that are claimable, and maybe one or two of those things are there, and then for the chunk of time, if any ads are played before or after the delivery of said song or whatever, it's being sent and split between the rights holders. Whereas, like, on Twitch, if you're streaming for fucking 9-10 hours, like, the absolute litany of shit that could be claimed at any given time and then have to be split up and all the bullshit that comes with that, I think also makes it complicated.
It's a fucking shit show, all right?
Yeah.
It's just a shit show. I guess, like, it's good news. I just don't know how good of a news it really is. We'll know more soon.
I think I'll be really happy if at the very least it solves the problem of the music in games that are being streamed being flagged.
Yeah.
That is beyond the most important thing. Recreationally listening to music on Twitch is always going to be a literally a legal gray area, but like when it comes to streaming, and I mean streaming games in general are still in a gray area.
It's still a gray area.
It's
Literally
still a gray area.
Playing the games is a gray area.
But it's like but the difference is that like the developers themselves, we know they don't care. That's why nobody ever brings down a channel for it. At best it'll be like Atlas.
So
from
does the
Japan.
vast majority of artists. They don't give a fuck.
Well,
In
the
fact,
artists
they
don't.
it. It's
the artists don't, but it's the license holders. So for the music in the games from the developers and publishers that don't care, that becomes a problem. It's like streaming Tony Hawk, the redo for 1 and 2. It's all licensed music. It's all shit that they like. And there's no way in fuck you're gonna want to play that shit with that those music tracks going. You're just asking for trouble. So I think that's like if they could get that much done, I think that's like
That's good.
a big W. That's a
Yeah.
fat dub.
Yeah.
And then anything above and beyond that's just cream. But that would be like probably the core thing.
I think we're at the stage now, though. If you're listening to if you're playing a video game and a song shows up and you get flagged, Twitch is not banning anybody for that. You know what I mean? They're just not. They're just not going to do it. It might be a pain in the ass, and you might see a tweet like, "Oh, I got fucking flagged for playing Last of Us 2, and there was some sort of song in there that." Twitch is not banning somebody removing their Twitch account over that shit, right?
Highly unlikely it would just be
to put it out there, but they're not gonna just wipe out your account for that stuff. So,
well, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think it would just be nice for people to know that it won't happen instead of just we suppose that it's never gonna fucking come down on somebody.